just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
So, one of the more chaotic opens of the show. Sean is Sean is frozen. I took a phone call. Now Sean just completely threw out all willingness to be coherent and also focused. So he's rummaging through his shoe.
You have a short, if we want to be professional, it's a short lifespan. And I saw my shoes from Rhode Island and they're just destroyed.
Those are the team issued shoes for anybody who's viewing on YouTube. And if you're on audio, it is a very destroyed bottom of a shoe.
I use these like every day. This is the insole.
Do you wear those to work? That is
no.
Oh my God, that is so bad.
I'm wondering why all my socks are starting to have holes in them after working out or playing pickleball or golf or whatever. And it's the same spot every time. I'm like, oh, it's because it's rubbing up on the actual part of the shoe.
To anyone who donates $100 to the show, you can own the sole of Sean's shoe.
Yes. They're awful, rancid shoes.
I know Colin wants them. I know that
Colin doesn't get them.
Would be happy to have
Not allowed. Colin doesn't get, nothing from Colin.
Do you have the read up, by the way? I forgot to ask. Do you have it?
Hey, I'm not like one of your other co-hosts who you get confused with, who sometimes doesn't have the read up. I'm a professional, so I always have the read up. He doesn't do the read.
I do the read on the other show.
How does that go?
I guess the job done. You think Ryan can talk about sports betting? Are you kidding me?
I miss you having reads because that was my favorite. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, I don't know why we've only had one this whole summer, but that's a separate issue.
I would only give us one for the summer.
Let's
talk about my shoes.
Yeah. FCS football podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone here with Sean Anderson, my former teammate, former roommate at the University of Rhode Island. We're talking about the best FCS defensive backs in the country. We're going to have one more show next week before we take a week off when I am on vacation. But we've got a fun conversation today. Sean, how are you doing?
Here's a question I have for you, okay?
Yeah.
4-way road, 2 of them have stop signs, right? So you're driving straight, your left and your right have stop signs, right? Okay. You don't have a stop sign. So you're just rolling.
Yeah.
You are driving and you're simultaneously eating some boneless wings.
Okay.
Right? So you're sitting there, you're driving, you're going about 30 miles per hour to 25.
Okay.
So you're sitting there, you're looking at the road, but you know where your boneless wings are, right? You're just doing your bit. You're hungry, it's lunch, you're driving. Somebody flies out from behind the stop sign. You have to hit the brakes. You're about a foot away from creating a huge T-bone car crash. Whose fault is that? And could the person eating the boneless wings be charged with reckless driving?
I'm the person eating the boneless wings.
Yes, you're the person that almost hit the jackass.
Yes.
Driving from the stop sign.
Are both hands on the wheel, or
you got one hand on the wheel? You know how it's going.
No, I got one.
One hand on the wheel.
I assume this is like a rummage in the seat next to you type of a circumstance.
Yeah,
while the other hand's on the wheel.
It's
not
like
in your lap.
No. It could be on your armrest. You're looking straight. You know the bit. You know the hand, wings, either armrest or on the seat next to you.
That is entirely assuming. Did he blow through it, or did he just think he could beat me?
She just shot the gap. I don't know if she saw me. Right?
Oh, this is something that actually happened to you.
Yes, about an hour ago.
Okay, the more important question here is what happened to the wings? Did they go
flying? I clutched down on the wings, crushed them, right? I'm holding them. They're in my little container. I stopped those. My backpack with my laptop, my hard drive, my headphones, my charger.
That went flying.
That flies right to the dash because why protect that, right? I'm assuming even if I had like a friend in the seat, I think I'm going for the wings before them because airbag.
100%.
But yeah, so I'm driving, eating the wings, coming back, getting ready to do the show.
It's her fault. It's
her fault, right? But if it goes to court, there could be a case of Mr. Anderson. What were you doing in the car?
Well, any mouth breather who's blowing through stop signs doesn't have enough money to afford a good lawyer to find out if you were eating if it was someone with a lot of money driving a Porsche or something like that, you're screwed. They're gonna find out that you were eating the wings, and then they're gonna find a way to blame it on you. But what kind of car were they driving?
It wasn't a bad car. I can't remember. It was like it looked like it was in the 2014 range silver
probably
sedan.
Some mouth breathing.
It wasn't some trashy car. It wasn't some 1993 Camry, right? But it also wasn't a 2020 S class.
So after this happened, did they just drive off? Like, what did you do?
They gave like the sorry wave, and then I'm like, I come to a full stop. This is the hardest I've ever hit the brakes in this car. You know my car. My car is 20 years old, almost. It's 19 years old, whatever it is.
Right. I'm
sitting here like, oh my god, like I really almost just crushed the side of this person's car, and I'm driving the big body. It's a hard car. My car would have been fine. I would have had to get the bumper replaced.
Yeah.
But I know how it would have gone.
Did you drive off? Is that what the results of this was? Like after you a little rattled, you grabbed one more wing and then you went?
No, yeah. So I go. I'm like, okay, well, I almost had a huge accident. And then I just park my car, eat my wings, come inside.
You ate your wings in the car. That's interesting. See, I would have. What do you think I would have done at the end of the
You would have followed the person.
Yes, I would have absolutely.
That's not how we operate.
I would have, we wouldn't be sitting here recording right now if that happened to me. I would still be following her, and I would be on her tail, and I'd be blaring in the horn. Because it's like one of those things where somebody does something where you almost crash, and like everything's out the window. Like
I'm
it's just
pissed.
like I've only done this a couple of times, but like I think I don't cool down as quickly as you do.
No,
when especially on the road. But when I'm up, like I'm flipped. Like there's no stopping. So,
well, this is another example of me being one of the best drivers that I know. I mean, just a top tier, all class driver.
Sure.
This is just another example of that where priorities, safety, it all comes into effect. And I had to get your irrational, awful driving take. And I've given my due credit to Jersey and their drivers. I've never seen drivers operate as well on the turnpike as I have that they operate well on the turnpike. DC, Maryland, Virginia, all awful drivers, all bad. I'm one of the few good ones.
Can I ask, why were you eating boneless wings? You were eating chicken nuggets.
It was a snack after work. I go into the theater. I got some of the Buffalo boneless wings.
So you were eating chicken nuggets?
No, they're not chicken nuggets.
They're chicken nuggets. Was there sauce on them? You want to do a hack bit? Sure. Yeah. It's not a hack bit.
It's a bit of a hack bit. I'm not saying I'm eating chicken wings. I'm saying it's the boneless, not chicken nugget, but it's the big ball of chicken, not the chicken nugget flat.
The big ball of chicken. Okay, That's a solid 8 minutes. Quality discussion. We've got defensive backs to talk about today, Sean.
Can you tell they're not our expertise?
Hey, man, I did a lot of DB drills at Rhode Island. You did too.
Oh, my God, dude. That one drill. Remember the warm-ups that we did for like a couple weeks? Where it was the shadow drill, and you're just sidestepping and then turn around like, Coach, why we're doing conditioning before the practice has started. I'm dead. Yeah. The whole offensive line is dead. Inside run. What? What do you mean? Right into PAT now? After we just ran a half a conditioning test in your warm-up? What are we doing? Hate DB drills.
Coach Rich had some interesting warm-ups. Before we get into
that was a phlegm warm-up.
You
don't remember that? That was not a
I never warmed up. I didn't ever do the warm-ups with you. That was my water break. Okay, well, I was on the field an hour before you were. I was getting
congratulations. You want to do this bit? You want to do this bit? Who was
not going to do
longer, and then who put in more? Who had more sweat at the end of the day?
You definitely did. So that's not like a debate that we're going to sit here and have. The read is Bet Online. Sean, I am 10 for my last 13.
I hate you,
but this All-Star break has really derailed my enthusiasm for betting. I have had nothing to bet on. I almost bet on a WNBA game today. I was that desperate to.
Oh, you have the bug.
Yeah, because I'm 10 for my last 13. I added up. I have a spreadsheet now that I'm tracking my profits and my record. I am over 67% on in the month of July. And that includes my current hot streak.
I'm happy for you.
Thanks.
Our partners at BetOnline continue to be the number one source for all your betting needs and sports information. I guess that's where Joe's getting it for his crazy luck hot streak. You know what? A lot of these listeners weren't there for NFL sinners and boozers. Where Joe,
I didn't know how to bet. I didn't know how to bet.
300 units. All right,
I didn't know how to bet. I didn't know how to bet.
One of the worst. I have it in this notebook here. I have all the records.
I didn't know how to bet.
I
didn't know how to bet. I was expected to understand, and I had no idea what I was doing. And now I figured out how to do it, and it's.
God, I'm looking through these right now. Joe, 9 for 14 on picks. Fire 4 for 14. Joe, 9 for 16 on picks. I got it all. I'm happy for your one hot streak, Joe. I'm happy. This is a 5.
This is a whole hot month.
Let me get this out of here. There's some stuff in there.
Finish the read.
Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including NBA, Summer League, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Juan Soto, home run derby champion. Joe lost that bet. I'm happy he lost it. I hate the Phillies. I hate Joe. I hate baseball Joe. I'm happy he lost. He didn't know who Roddy White was. He had to text me that question. He couldn't figure it out. What was that? You were in trivia with who were you in trivia with where you couldn't remember?
No one. I was just it was something don't worry about it.
I need to worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I think I have a theory that someone said you don't know this player, and then you had to text me because he or she had you.
It was neither of us could remember who it was, and instead of looking it up, I figured I would text you because you're a Falcons fan. That was the
how quickly did I answer that question?
Pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly. About as quickly as I could type the words Roddy White.
Can we talk defensive backs? You're like in this, you almost get killed today, and
I haven't talked to you in a while. Yes, I'm trying to
learn to compartmentalize. You almost got into a car accident. Leave it out there on the field, or don't bring it onto the field here. I'm joking, obviously.
What were you going to open with one of your three shirts that you wear on the show?
I'm glad that you're not dead. I'm glad that you got to eat your wings too. I'm very happy.
They were okay.
That was a fun story. Sean, we got defensive backs for the fourth time. I've told our listeners this. As usual, we have our elite and our great tier. If you haven't listened to the other episodes, go listen to them. We are not going to backtrack. Or don't. Just F us. The four guys that we have in the that's just mean. The four guys that we have in the elite tier, though. Same as usual. Most of these guys have recognition from NFL circles. There's one guy on here that I didn't really spot in that NFL recognition from the information that I have, but he still statistically is one of the most dominant defensive backs in all of FCS football. Quick preface before we get into it. If any of these guys transferred, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. I'm sorry. Because we've done it 3 times now, and I'm tired of just finding out after double checking on every freaking guy, and then he transfers in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
The 4 guys, the one that I was referring to that is freaking dominant as hell is Robby Hauck from Montana, who had 128 tackles last year at 5'10", 185. We've also got his teammate Justin Ford. Ryan Roberts loves him. But he is freaking long as hell. 6'2", 190 pounds. Just tell me the language.
Come on now. It's a clean show we do.
Oh, wow. That was a bad voice crack. 6'2", 190 pounds, 9 interceptions, and 11 pass breakups last year. Justin Ford, fantastic football player. Benny Sapp, who was featured on the YouTube channel in an interview, 4 interceptions, 52 tackles for Northern Iowa this past season. And then the last one, this dude is huge. Marte Mapu. I'm assuming we think that's a Mapu?
You had it spelled incorrectly, so I was typing in a different name for about 5 minutes.
How do you spell?
You had it. This is how you had it, and then I had to fix it.
It's okay.
Yes.
Marte Mapu from Sacramento State, 6'3", 221 pounds, 65 tackles, 4 interceptions last year. So we've got a really interesting grouping here. Hawk to me is the guy who exceptional football player, less NFL upside, but the remaining three guys have tremendous NFL upside, especially just from those physical traits that we highlighted there.
Yeah, I'm going to need some of Joe DeLeone's breakdown on Marte Mapu, but Hawk is interesting because he is a very good college safety. His frame is not an NFL frame, and that's not me hating. It's just not. He doesn't fill it out that well, but he plays great safety. So it's going to sound like a knock, but it's not. It's just the way that it works. Sorry. But no, he flies around. He makes good tackles, hard hitter, very aggressive on the field, which I like from my safeties. Justin Ford, I really like. I think I claimed he was a my guy way back, and now I'm hearing Ryan Roberts is really high on him, which is okay, cool. I guess that's just who gets to claim every single one of the prospects they like. But Justin Ford flies around. He hits harder. He doesn't hit as hard as he thinks he does. If that makes any sense.
So you think he's like coming down like a bat out of hell, and then it's just like a little,
which is a good thing.
Pop.
It's good because he's super charged up, ready to make every tackle. He never shies away from the contact. Huge for me for a defensive back. But he's not knocking many people on their asses, which is, I don't need my defensive backs to be linebackers. I don't. I like it when they are, but that's just me. I like the hard nose stuff. He's very, very good in coverage also. But if you watch him, man, he's gonna try his hardest to lay you out. He's not always gonna do it. That's what I'm trying to say, and not he doesn't hit as hard as he thinks he does. Which, if that got relayed back to him, I'm sure he wouldn't be a fan of that being said. Regardless, he is very intent on making plays.
Analysis.
Yes, and then Benny Sapp. I liked what I saw out of Sapp. Sapp very much like Ford. He's got a little more thump to him, and he's got very good strides, and he will keep up with the receivers very well. He seems very disciplined, a very well-rounded defensive back. I think Sapp is very, very well-rounded. Ford's a little more explosive, electric. Hawk is just kind of the the Energizer Bunny type guy. He's gonna try to get things started. But Mapu, Joe, I'm gonna ask for you some intel from you on him.
Yeah, Mapu is, and there's not a lot of clips that you can really pull on him. But the dude looks like a linebacker playing.
Yeah, I saw some
safety.
clips. I didn't know if he had a deeper dive.
You know who he kind of reminded me of, just in terms of
comp loading.
No, this is a weird comp.
Comp loading. Hold on.
Just in terms of his just the way that he looked physically on film, just standing there. He kind of had the same build as DJ Stewart, former Rhode Island safety.
Okay.
Who got a little bit of an NFL look.
Current rugby player.
Yes, current rugby player.
Trucking entrepreneur also.
It's a weird mix.
DJ Stewart he's a renaissance man. He's got a little DJ Stewart height to him. I'm watching the play of his first interception in 2019. He sits down. He plays where he's supposed to play, at least on this clip. I think he played quarterback in high school. So that makes sense for the 6'3" frame, but I think if you're going into college football as a quarterback in high school, and it's pretty clearly that you can't play quarterback at the college level, they'll find somewhere for you, because if you're a quarterback in high school, it probably means you were one of the best athletes on your team. So they'll find a spot for you. And I like that the transition to the defensive back means that he doesn't go, he's not afraid of the contact either.
I think Mapu's a much better athlete than DJ was, because that was one thing that held DJ back. He was slow.
He was a little stiff. He was a little stiff.
Yeah, he was a little stiff. I think Mapu, you get a lot more fluidity, flexibility, and you get a tall safety like this, kind of like with Jeremy Chin. I'm not comparing him to Jeremy Chin, but when you have a taller safety like this, the NFL is going to take notice if you can move well. If you've got some nice stats to go along with it, playing in a good conference at the FCS level, you're going to get that recognition. I think Mapu is a draftable player, especially because of that size profile. And he's the reason why the NFL is always attracted to these big safeties is, especially as a backup. Like, Mapu's going to get drafted to be a back end of the roster guy, because you want that size to play special teams. But most importantly, you want guys that can fill multiple roles on the back end of your roster. So when you're dealing with an injury and you need to plug somebody in at strong safety, or say if you're even in more of a pinch and you're a couple linebackers down, like there's a crazy amount of injuries, you could plug them in at outside linebacker. That's like somebody like Mapu, to me, provides that type of value because he's so freaking big.
Okay. All right. I'm starting to get a better, a more clear picture then.
Yeah, no, good, strong tackler. But just to round out, you hit a lot of good notes on these guys. I think Justin Ford is one of the. Yeah, I don't give you a lot of compliments. Justin Ford's one of the more intriguing names on this list. I believe he came from Louisville, if that's correct. Let me double check that. But the length is just so noticeable, and the production to go along with the length. If you pull up his roster page, yeah, he came from Louisville. If you pull up his roster page, there's a sick picture of him with his hand up in the air, like diving and making a catch. It's quite fantastic to see, and I think that emulates who he is as an athlete. Again, a little stiff, and I had this long conversation with Ryan about him that he's probably not going to be like a highly drafted corner because he's a little stiff. He's not super duper fluid. But he's somebody who maybe transferred him to safety. And I had this conversation with Ryan, and Ryan's like,
I don't want him to safety. I don't want him to safety.
I don't know if like you always want to do that with corners, but he's like a cover 3 guy.
Yeah, but like Isaiah Oliver's never been. I hate to just only have Atlanta Falcons comps, but Isaiah Oliver, a bit of a teller corner out of Colorado. He got drafted. He's playing slot in the NFL.
He's too garbage to play on the outside. And he's
okay. Hey, jackass. How about if you could play slot corner in the NFL for 4 years, you're pretty good.
He's garbage. He was supposed to be a lot better than that.
Hey, James Bradbury's really good. Good job re-signing him.
He was good. They weren't going to keep him though. He's too expensive.
Yeah, sure. Suck. Giants suck. I hate their new
uniforms were dirty. Those were fantastic.
No, they stink because neither of the Blues go together. Well, that's how they always were. I don't care. There's nobody on your team that's like Lawrence Taylor, and until there is, then why bring it back?
Those stupid gradient uniforms that the Falcons wear are horrible. Horrible. Worst uniforms I've ever seen.
And then also, their throwback uniforms are way better also. Their throwback uniforms.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, of course you don't disagree, even though there's a weird bit going on in Atlanta right now where all of their teams
are bad.
No. We're all the hey, you are testing me. All the teams are making the colors of the teams after Coca-Cola products. Like the leaked Hawks uniforms are like the Coca-Cola like cream soda colors. Like it's not. It's a weird bit they got going on.
Maybe it's intentional. You got any more DB comment or any comments for the elite tier?
The elite tier, I'm good. I'm ready to talk about the great tier because I have a guy I want to talk about that's not on the list.
The great tier, nice. You even made a note for Giants jerseys. How about you shut the hell up? The great tier, the guys that we have, the 5 guys that we have here: Dawson Weber from North Dakota State, 6'2", 194. Anthony Adams, Portland State corner, 6 foot 185. PJ Jules, 6'3", corner from SIU, who had 6 pass breakups and 74 tackles last year. Terrence Dunlap from Southern, who was a transfer from Troy. And then guess what? We've got another Rhode Island Ram making these lists. Jordan Jones, Rhode Island DB, 5 interceptions, 8 pass breakups. One of the top statistical performers for interceptions last year. I had this thought when I was writing this down. Sure. I don't really remember Jordan when we were there.
He was there.
Quiet. He's quiet.
Very quiet.
Was he like a highly recruited guy? Because I got to be completely honest. Like I feel like an idiot, but like we knew about Correa. We obviously know Correa, but he was so quiet. I just feel like I forgot he was there.
Well, Joe, it's tough for the specialists to socialize with everybody because it's kind of like, we're all here. We're coasters, Congratulations to Jordan Coaster for helping get the country club ready for the U.S. Open. By the way, that was pretty cool. You got to admit that was pretty cool.
Does he work there?
He was on the maintenance. He was on the crew that was helping maintain the greens and stuff and all the fairways.
I think every person on this earth has like a list of 5 people that they hate the most, and he's on there.
I love Jordan Coaster.
He's probably number Jordan 5. Coaster. No, you love because of the reaction that he gets out of me. That's what you like.
And he's not scared of you.
Joe tried to be anyone who antagonizes me worse than you did.
Here's the power trip that Joe had in college. He had to be king specialist. And anybody that
I was
challenged
King
his
Specialist.
authority, anything that challenged his authority, anybody that threw a different idea out into the mix, Joe couldn't handle it. And Jordan Coaster did. And Jordan Coaster didn't put up with it. And Jordan Coaster wasn't afraid to stick Joe in the mouth either.
No. You know what? This kid didn't belong on the football team. He was a charity case on the football team.
Oh, what are you talking about?
The only way that he was going to ever get onto the field was that if he made stuff up. I've never experienced this before.
I saw Jordan Coaster deadlift more than you. So I don't want to hear
that.
He
was 270 pounds as a long snapper. He was the fattest long snapper in the country.
Here's the deal, though. If you think that you're on a football field and you're getting out-muscled in the waiver by another snapper.
It was like middle school drama every day with this kid where like I couldn't go through a practice without him bringing something up that I did. He tried to like go tell on the coaches about me and any other long snapper that was in the room about any little thing that he didn't like as an attempt to get me in trouble. Like,
well,
I never
and then
did
Perry
anything
Schrader
wrong.
decleated him. You guys were all very mean to Jordan Coaster for no reason. Regardless, Joe didn't really get to with the specialists. They kind of mingled amongst themselves, like with all football teams. There's a couple specialists that are good with everyone. Joe was decent with everybody. CJ Carrick was probably the best with everybody. But offensive line never really mingled with the defensive backs. It was most other position groups. I don't know why. It's just two very opposite sides of the spectrum. Like offensive line shouldn't really mingle with the receivers, but we're on the same side of the ball. Defensive backs is not very much. But I think Jordan Jones was there, if I recall. So he was pretty good. He's rangy.
I think he was long. A freshman. I think he was a freshman.
He's very quick. Like very quick and very smooth. Like just running, and it all seems effortless when he's doing it. Playing football is what I should be saying. But Joe,
the simplest description of playing the sport of football.
Stupid. But I had one guy to add to the list who I actually watched some film on because
I didn't include, or just someone you was already on.
Did not include. And this is a guy that I get all my draft stuff from. Draft guy Jimmy sent this. A reply on Twitter. What's that face?
Off air. I'll tell you off
Draft
air.
guy Jimmy suggested CJ Siegel from North Dakota, and I watched some of his film.
Okay,
I was impressed. He had very good closing speed. I thought he was a good defensive back as well that could have belonged in the great tier. But that's where I get my draft news from, and I like when he puts me onto some players. It's a good source for me.
Yeah, I'm having a really weird conversation with Chad right now.
Sure, Chad Monrose?
I haven't talked to Chad in a minute, and he sends me my own tweet, and he says no replies from South Dakota State fans, and I'm like, did I make you guys mad or something? And he's like, no, it's I don't know what he's trying to say to me.
Why are you talking to Chad Monrose in the middle of the show?
It's him, and he's like, he said, don't bring that up, and I said, we're in the middle of recording, so this is definitely getting brought up. So thanks, Chad. I don't know what the heck you were trying to say to me.
Congratulations to South Dakota State and one of their women's teams for becoming all on a roll or something like that. I saw the South Dakota State boys were happy for that. Also,
congrats to South Dakota State for not having a player on this list, but still finding a way to butt themselves into the conversation.
You know what? That's a very good point. Joe, you made an excellent point. They found a way to work themselves into it. Getting a little towards the hack side of things.
It's like
just a little. I'm not calling the South Dakota State boys a hack,
right?
But
no, they're not
getting a little close.
They're not hack. I love the
South
Dakota
side of the
State
spectrum.
I love Chad. I love Brendan, but it's almost as if he knew that we were in the middle of recording somehow, and just telepathically knew. And he's like thinking, like, I'm going to get him to bring up South Dakota State players by messaging him, and then he's going to bring up this conversation because Joe has the attention span of a 3-year-old.
It's not what broadcasters do.
No, we're not broadcasters.
You're not a broadcaster.
What the hell are you then?
A broadcaster.
No, you're not.
More than you.
Debatable.
What did you just look at? What happened? Did a light flash on your floor? What happened?
No, I was just looking down. I thought I had another comment from Chad.
Sure. Why wouldn't you?
Shut the hell up. What are we going to talk about next week?
Well, you'll be in Italy, correct?
No. We're going to get one show out before I leave. I don't leave till Thursday. And then the following week we'll take off. And then I get back in the following Tuesday.
Oh.
And then we're going to record as soon as I get in.
We'll do a mailbag show.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Of course
Good
it
idea.
is, because
We
I'm
need
filled
more
with good
horrible
ideas.
questions.
Fuck.
You get
I just, you know how you just got South Dakota stated? We both just got Colin Suttrick just on Twitter. Just the notification comes up.
Yeah, that was why I got distracted, but I didn't want to give him the gratification of bringing him up. But we just did it.
I hate this bit also. Whoever Rise and Draft approves. Stop involving Ryan with this aspect of the show. Colin, you're not Ryan's problem. You're our problem. Don't go leaking over to his realm, all right? He's got bigger things to deal with. I saw, what was that? He said he could last 8 seconds on a bull. What was that about?
I don't know. I wasn't on our show.
He can't.
Ryan's been too busy to record
You
with
can't,
me lately.
and I can't.
I definitely can't. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio. I have too many people sending me Twitter notifications. NFL Prospects Pod. I don't know why I plugged that. That's the Twitter handle for the NFL Draft Show. Hack City on YouTube. Subscribe. Instagram, TikTok. We put stupid stuff on the internet.
Sure.
Anywhere you listen to the audio version, and drive safe.